Hey, good afternoon everyone. I'm Paula. I'm here to speak to you about a new promotion coming in just a few days, and it is on our in colours. So Stampin' Up! Always have a range of 5 brand new colours each year, and the 5 brand new colours that came out in, oh gosh, was it May this year? Are actually now going to be on special for this month. So it's a fabulous time to think about getting these into your crafting stash. So what I'm going to do today is I'm going to show you what the special is all about. I'm going to give you a little bit of a look actually at what we created yesterday in our casual crop here in my craft room, because that uses all the new in colours, and we're going to make a little card together. So just hang around, have a little look at what these new in colours are like, and see if that's something that you could use in your little crafting stash. So first I will just turn you around and get you looking down at my screen. So sorry about the camera shake here. We'll just get you in there. Right, okay, so as you can see in front of me, there are a whole lot of bits and pieces that are involved in our new in colour range. So the special is that you can get any of the 2025 to 2027 in colours, that's the 5 colours, with 15% off between 5th and 31st of August. So that's next Tuesday onwards. So some of the products that you can get in the in colour range are, you can get obviously the different ink pads. Cloud Cover is a little bit of a specialty one, is that we're just selling it as a re-inker this time round, because we have been having a few issues with the quality of how it comes out in the large ink pad. So you can get it as a re-inker. The other 4 are, as usual, you can get it as the standard sized inks. That re-inkers are on special, and if you need to use just re-inkers, if you prefer just to have the small size, you can buy a set of 5 of these little blank ink spots and use the re-inkers to make your little ink pads. So that's one little option for you. We have the Stampin' Blend markers in all the different 5 colours. We have some gorgeous flat pearls, and actually one other type of dimensional type of bling as well in the 5 colours. We've got a patterned paper, a DSP, a 6x6 in the 5 colours. It's got lots of different patterns. These are just a couple of the sheets. We have A4 cardstock and 12x12 cardstock, the 2 tones in these colours. And one of my favourite tools is the Stampin' Right markers, which have got a fine end and a more brush tip end, but they're using the same ink as what's in your re-inker and inside your ink pads. So you can use these as a type of a water-based effect to do a lot of different looks, as well as doing doodling and things with it too. So that is what the range is like with our in colours. So in our book, if you've got our catalogue, and your catalogue, you can find the in colours at the back of the book in our colours section, the colour collections. They've got the in colours that came out last year, because they are around for 2 years. You have them in the book again. And then the in colours that have come out this year, which are part of the special, are these 5 here. And it shows you can get the cardstock, you can get a stamp pad, you can get an ink refill, you can get the blends, you can get the 2-tone cardstock. It's just, excuse me, showing you all those things, plus A4 cardstock. Oh dear, excuse me. So that's where you can see those colours if you are looking for them later on. Another thing you will see is that I don't actually have any at the moment in stock, but I think I might be this month, given that there's a little bit of a promotion. But there's these lovely ribbons all in those 5 colours as well, which is great for coordination. You might go over 1 page further, and that is, 1 or 2 pages further, not just 1. And that's where we can see those flat pearls and the in colour, sorry, there they are there, which is a really great colour coordination as well. And as I mentioned, those 6x6 papers, we've got them in the in colours with all the different colours and the patterns. So there's so much variety. Now, one thing that is really neat about the in colours is that they start to get incorporated into all of our other collections. So the collection that starts off in your book here, you can actually see it as a scrapbooking kit as well, is, let's just open it up, is the Memories in Bloom range. And this one is a stunning floral collection. You're looking at the moment at the scrapbooking kit, which is where you get all the supplies to create 3 double-page spreads. But you can see the colours here have got some of those in colours. In fact, they've got all the in colours incorporated in them. You can see the whole collection of this one a bit further on in the book from page 40. It's called Floral Aprils in Bloom. And here you can see those little pieces coming through that are part of the collection, but you can see the beautiful pattern paper. And here's that Secret Sea. We can see the Strawberry Slush in here. We can see Cloud Cover in here. We can also see some of the oranges coming through, which is our Timid Tiger, and some of the yellows coming through, which is our Darling Duckling. So it's a really good collection for coordinating all these in colours. So we played with this collection yesterday at Crop as a starting point with using these beautiful bright colours. So what we did is we grabbed actually an album retreat little idea. So the album retreat's just been out recently. You can still get your hands on it. And it had this lovely little layout, which it's hard to see now because I have covered it all up with my photos. But it has got stripes in it. So there's lots of stripes coming through with different paper strips, really, I should say. And some of the strips we did some stamping on, which is really fun, and that just helps to give a little bit of interest to the page. So I took that idea and I have adapted it for a little class for everybody, and we decided to do the strips a little bit easier by going sideways. So instead of having all that sort of technical work of measuring strips that go across 2 pages, which is a very effective look, but it is probably one of the trickier layouts in the album retreat to do. I'll just grab this out of the way. We decided to do the strips horizontally. So as you can see here, I have played up a little bit more some of the Petunia Pop that's also in the range, and I've pulled in the Cloud Cover, the Secret Sea. Cloud Covers come through up here too, and it's just a delightful little spread with a little bit of dovetailing, a bit of angling work, and I've gone around all the edges with a sponge dauber to distress the edges with Secret Sea as well, which helps things to stand out. You'll also see we did a bit of stamping. The stamp sets that come with the album retreat are so usable. They've got lots and lots of icons. And when there's lots of little icons, we can do so much with it. So I've used one there, I've used another one subtly in here. I've done some stamping from it in here as well on this page. And on the second page, I've actually used flip flaps. So these will be on top, but we've got a series of 4 photos. We've got a little bit of embellishing going on, and then this banner also came from the stamp set that comes in the album retreat. All these little pieces around the bottom and around the top where I've done my blending, they all came through from it, and you'll see those beautiful flat pearls just shimmering through, giving us a little bit of a look at what those in colours are like. In fact, I really love the Secret Sea and Cloud Cover together. They're just such a stunning combo. So I've got this little layout finished now. This is for my trip album that I've been slowly working through, and this is when we were in Hanoi, so it came out beautifully and I'm really pleased with the results, and that is the in color at work. Now I just wanted to point out a couple of things before we started making our card and playing a little bit more with these colors, is that I actually created this title using, as always, because I love this font, I'm using the Alphabet Alamo dies throughout this travel album, but I also pulled in this specialty paper. And this is a little gem that you might only see if you scroll around online. Sorry about this noise. But in here we have got some Cloud Cover pieces that are shiny, and they've actually got an embossing to them. You might be able to see there's a little bit of a floral on that one. This one is quite hard to pick up, but this one's got more of a plaid, well, a little bit of a diamondy effect. And it comes in 3 colours. So we've got that Strawberry Slush, the Cloud Cover, which are 2 of our in colours. And then we've also got, oh gosh, is this pretty in pink? It's one of the pinks anyway. So it's rather lovely paper. And I like to use specialty paper for things like titles. Now, whenever I'm cutting out this particular font, because it is so skinny, and if you're putting glue behind it, it is quite difficult because you get a lot of sticky mess around, I actually cut out a strip of whatever paper I'm using, and to the back I adhere our adhesive sheets. So this is just a 1-inch strip. I just cut a 1-inch strip off one of my adhesive sheets, and that means when I cut these out, it's actually a sticker. So you might be able to see here if it comes away from me. It often doesn't when I'm trying to do it as a demonstration, but it's quite easy to use. But you just peel this off, and it'd probably be easier if I use the middle bit. It peels this off, and it is just a sticker. It's just really going to prove me wrong. There we go. There we go. We've proved. But that is a sticker now. And that, for example, if that was part of my title, that would just now easily be able to be placed. So that's a little trick. I always love doing it. But do check out those gorgeous specialty papers that are in this colour range too. Okay, so that is what we got up to yesterday. That was a lot of fun. I really enjoyed putting that one together. So now I thought we'd make a quick little card and look at this beautiful paper range a bit further. So the paper itself comes with some really gorgeous florals. So I've just cut some small pieces. These are actually, if you'd like to know, is 3 1/4 by 4 1/4, I believe they were. So that's the 6 different florals on one side. You get 2 12 by 12 sheets of each of these patterns. And then on the other side, we've got slightly more subtle effects. So we've just got some of the solid shades coming through, which you can see there's some of our new in colours. There's the orange and the yellow together on that one. So it's a really nice combo set for bringing in florals, but also doing some more standard, more classic looks as well. So let's just use those as the backing for our cards. Now I actually saw a little idea from Karen Hadler. She's another demonstrator who used some beautiful floral paper, not this one, but she combined it with one of my favourite sets at the moment, which is Just a Note. So she pulled in this gorgeous die that you just cut out of a small piece of white, and you get the beautiful sort of folio effect, and that we're just going to be placing on the front of the florals just as a grounding spot for our sentiment or for our sort of focal point of the card. So I've got that beautiful pattern. I'm going to cover them slightly with this, and we're just going to bring it to life by following through with more layering. Now when I'm doing cards, just so that you've got a bit of an idea too, there are options. You can get the basic note cards and envelopes, which I do sometimes, but they're not really much bigger than this sort of sized card, just a little tad bigger. So they are quite a small note card. If you want a more standard sized card, I tend to buy the thick basic white A4 cardstock. You can just get the standard basic white, and that's not a problem. It works really well. I just like that slight little bit more sturdiness. So I get the thick A4 cardstock, and I create 2 card bases with that. So I simply grab my trimmer. I use the scoring blade first, which is my light grey, and I'm just going to do this at 4 1/8. That's just a scoring line, and then I'm going to swivel this around and then cut at 5 1/2 inches. So that's just a standard size that I quite like to use. It's not the only size you could go with. Actually, I did move that one slightly, so let's just do a better one over here. Make it completely straight, and there we go. And because I've already pre-scored it, it's ready to go for our card itself. So that's how I create 2 card bases out of my piece of A4, and it's a really good option, that slightly thicker cardstock, to keep a more sturdy effect. Okay, so we've got a nice little base ready to go. We're going to take one of our pattern pieces, we're going to pop that on, and we've got this lovely little note folio. Now I'm going to grab that note folio, but instead of putting on the lines that come in the set, so it has got some really handy lines in the stamp itself, which would just make this look like a little note sheet. I'm going to pull back this lovely set. This is called the Elements of Text, which have got all these beautiful, slightly more scripty style sets, and I'm going to be using this one. So grab my cloud cover ink. If you're not lucky enough to be a demonstrator that got hold of one of these, you would be using an ink spot and your re-inker to create the cloud cover ink. And then I'm just going to ink this up. Make sure it's the right way around, although with this script it probably wouldn't matter too much. And I'm just going to stamp that in the center of the piece. So that's given us a really delightful, it's quite subtle on the camera, but really delightful look, which just makes it a little bit more interesting in here. Now I'm going to also, at this next stage, in fact I'll just switch over paper because I'm going to use a different color that matches better with this paper. But we've got our little back, but I do feel it's a bit lost at the moment with the white. So what I have done is I've gone away and cut some strawberry slush cardstock to go with this particular colorway, which is one of our in colors, which all instantly gives it a bit of life to this card. So we've got our little piece on here, we've got our floral, we've got our strawberry slush. Now I do like texture, and we've got a little bit of texture coming through with those texting, but I do think we could add a bit more. So I have pulled in one of my embossing folders, which happens to be this one, because it's quite a subtle but lovely effect that goes quite nicely with this font. And I have, I'll just switch this around so you can see, I have embossed it. It's got a lovely little pattern. Because this is two-tone cardstock, I could have used the light pink, which is quite quite sweet actually, but the true colour of Strawberry Slush. But because it's this white core, you can actually see there's a little bit of that white core coming through. Not sure if it's showing up very well, but coming through on that embossing just by running it through. You don't have to do anything special, and you get that lovely slightly white effect. So we are getting more of a pop coming on with this card now. So that's a really good combo to have as a base. Now I did go away and make a few others with the base, and I've got Secret Sea and Cloud Cover combined as the matte for this one. I thought that toned in better. I actually brought in this lovely lilac shade for this one just to pull in something a little different. And then some of the other patterns, I've done a similar thing here. I have pulled in the Secret Sea again. We've got the gorgeous lilac going on this one, and we will have, when I've finished it, this one over here. So we've just got a couple that I'm still working on that I thought I would show you the process. So that there is a beautiful set of note cards without any reference to any kind of sentiment. At this point, I thought it would be absolutely beautiful to bring in a flower or something a bit Englishy, rosy feel to sit on top of that floral paper. So I went away and created a few from that lovely set. What's it called? Gallery Blooms. So Gallery Blooms is one that is a full set in our annual book, and it's got this beautiful sort of heritage style flowers going on, sort of English cottagey garden to me. I love, love, love this rose set. So I have stamped a few of those as an idea for bringing this little card to life. So you can see I can pop something like that on there. It's just instantly bringing a little bit of interest to the card. But once again, it could stay as a note card. It doesn't actually have to have anything else. I would probably finish this off with some little sparkly Diamante gems, or of course I could pull in the in colour flat pearls and just use some of the softer colours like the Cloud Cover to finish that off. So I did do it in Secret Sea, and I did a similar type of look in the Blackberry Bliss, bringing in slightly purpley pinks, thinking that that could work quite nicely too. Now I'll just give you a few hints on doing this particular type of colouring. Let's just set these to one side. If you've got a little stamp, now let me see, this might be big enough. I'm just going to stamp that beautiful rose. I'm not sure if I think Strawberry Slush is going to be enough, but let's give it a go. We don't know. I could go back to using the Secret Sea style on that one. It would look lovely as well. But I'm just going to try Strawberry Slush. We'll see how it works together. So let's just ink this up. With the Stampin' Up! Inks, if you came from close to my heart, you'll know you don't press quite as hard. When you press really hard, you definitely quite often get it onto your block, so you just got to be a little bit lighter and tap at it. Now I'm just going to stamp off with this one because it was a slightly wet stamp. Let me just see if I can find something to stamp off onto and dry off the stamp a little bit first, because it is going to be a bit blotchy. There we go, I think that will be better. Now let's just ink it up again, so just light taps all over. We've inked it up, and I'm just going to stamp that onto this little piece of white. So that's quite lovely. It's probably a little lighter than what I want for the effect that I'm going for, but this, you still see the process of what I did for both of these other two roses. So I'm taking one of our little blending pens. The blending pens have no colour. They're just simply a little brush tip. And I'm going to use the brush tip to pull the colour away from the edges and into the flower. And as I say, this one really is a bit lighter. It's not as effective. When I was pulling the colour, as you can see from a really rich one, the colour came quite easily and it came out. This isn't quite as effective, which I did suspect might happen. But you can see how that works. You're just slowly pulling a colour out. So I can do the same all the way around. If I don't have enough colour, I can grab a little block. Let me find one. In fact, if I was going to do the leaves, for example, let's just do it for those. So this is a stronger colour. I would just grab a block and I would tap the block onto my ink pad, just so I've picked up a little bit of ink. And then once I've got rid of the colour that's already on the blending pen, I'm just going to pull in some colour from that block and colour in my leaves. So I would just, with this, because I had a pink outline, I'd kind of cover over some of that pink outline. But it's a very organic effect. But you can see you can actually colour really beautifully with your blender pen and the ink coming in. So we can just do something similar here. But as I say, I don't think I'd use a strawberry slush for the background of this rose. It's just a bit too bright and light. I think it's nicer with the Secret Sea or even the deeper Blackberry Bliss. But that's just a fun idea. Right, now just to finish off that blender pen, we just clean it all off till it goes clear. And we know it's ready for our next use. Right, I'll just close off some of these before I get ink everywhere, because that does happen. We all know that. Close this off. Now, another thought I had is that this is quite a traditional English rosy effect, but maybe we could keep it a bit more simple than this. So, although I do like that style, and for certain people I think that would be a perfect look, another idea is, let's just pull back those other two so you can see all those patterns in front of us. Another idea is to bring in some softer, smaller detail, just like what we did with this gorgeous layout. So this gorgeous layout, you'll see we use some very soft, subtle florals in here just to add a bit of a lift, but without overpowering the page. What we use for that is this stunning washi tape. Okay, this is called our Flora, Extraordinary Flora washi tape and die. And one way to work with it is simply to have it as a strip pattern on your page or on your card. So I could just open this up. It's just washi. I'm just going to stick it on, trying to keep it reasonably straight, although it's going to be a bit tricky on camera because I'm not quite over it. I'm not over it enough. Let's just get it down here and then I'll lift it up again. Great thing about washi is it's not too tacky. So we go down here and now you can see there is a repeating pattern. I'll just pull this lot up, sort out that top bit again. But you can see there's a repeating pattern. It comes off really easily, no problem, of the more purpley florals, and then up the top we've got the more pinky florals. I love that, so you can get two quite different looks. But what's even better about this is that it goes perfectly with this pattern paper that we're using today, because the purples go really lovely with the more purple hues, and the reddy pinks go really well with the reddy pink hues. So that you could just do as a strip on your scrapbooking page, going from one colour to the other, having the beautiful little accent, or just as a base for a card, exactly as it is. But it's pretty cool stuff, this. I'm just going to peel this back a bit because I don't need quite all of this. I'm going to cut off the start of the next repeating pattern. So I've just got, both on here. Because what I can do is take this away to my die cutting machine and place this die that comes with it. It's called the Extraordinary Flora die. It's just one big die over the top of the flowers. Oops, let me get it the right way. And it's going to cut out all of those little pieces as beautiful little embellishments. So here's one lot here. It's already been cut out. I actually placed these ones on a blue, the cloud cover background, whereas this time I'm showing you with white. So it just gives a little subtle, slight different hue to the colours. But that's what you get from passing that through once on through your die cutting machine. Then I can pass it through a second time and get all these purpley hues. So I'm just going to go get the purple hues now, so that we've got a little bit of something to work with. So 2 seconds. Okay, so here we go. I've just run this through my die cutting machine and I can just pop out. Let's just pop these up here so that we've got a bit of space. I might put them on here as well. Get those up a bit higher and I'm just going to pop these out. So easy. And all these embellishments have now been made and are ready for our use. Isn't that cool? So we've got these beautiful shades of little bits and pieces to use. Awesome. Okay, so I'm thinking, I haven't tried this out yet, guys, so you are my guinea pigs here, but I'm thinking it might be actually really lovely to have these cards more subtle. So just with a little bit of a hint of shade of colour coming through, that's almost enough for me. I might pull in another little bit of greenery. Could be fun. You could also have one of these little ones tucked further up if you wanted to. What else looks rather pretty? That's a lovely one too. Let's try that one going around. In fact, I think that one might look good up there. There we go. Let's do that. I'm just going to glue that down, commit it, and that there shows how easy it is to pop this washi tape through and get a beautiful embellishment out of it. And to me, this is a gorgeous little note card for any purpose. You can make a set of them to gift them away as a little birthday gift, the whole set packaged up beautifully. But look at that, so sweet. And then of course you can pop a little sentiment across the centre if you want to, for a special occasion. So I think the purples look really pretty with that one. And let's pull in on this one. I'll just stick that down so it doesn't fly around on us. Oh, I do like that pink light shade of Strawberry Slush. I have to use that. Maybe on the other card I'll use that shade. A little bit of extra there. Okay, just wipe my finger off. So this one I think I would head towards this lovely shade here now. In fact, let's use a different one. Well, that's the same one again, isn't it? I keep going for the same ones. I obviously quite like them. You can pull in this one, which there's a couple of. You could do that with it. Although I think that is just a little bit... Oh, I know. That one's quite sweet. Let's do a little sweet one. Yeah, I like that one. You could probably almost mix and match with this because it's got the purples in it as well. So really sweet. Let's just pop this one down lower. There we go. In fact, I can't use that one because it's got the white background and I want to keep it the same. So we'll use the blue background. So I'll find another one to pop in here. We'll just go back to this one. This one's cute. And I think that is just a nice, fun, easy little card showing off some of those fun new in colours and some of the beautiful ranges that go delightfully with those new in colours as little ideas. So that's it. That's it for today. I wanted to just remind you we have got those beautiful in colours as a promotion for the month of August. Moving on to August, aren't we now? So for the month of August, you can get 15% off. Can't actually find my little brochure now, but 15% off on all those new in colour collections. Here it is, between the 5th and the 31st of August. And don't forget, there's some beautiful DSP ranges, particularly this one here, Florals and Blooms, that just ties in so nicely with these colours as well. So thanks for watching, guys. Hope you're having a beautiful and very relaxing weekend, and we'll catch you all soon at another crafting event. Cheers, bye.